Law, and we're very excited to welcome attorney Mike Rose of the law offices of Michael J. Rose, PC. And we are going to talk about bankruptcy. A lot of people, they think bankruptcy, it's just going to ruin my credit. I can't do anything after this, especially maybe buy a house. What would you say to them?
Well, what bankruptcy does to your credit really depends on what your credit looks like to begin with. Most people who are having financial problems have a lot of things on their credit that lower their score, old collection accounts, late payments, things like that. A lot of times a bankruptcy is the quickest way to clean credit up. I'll have people come from a car dealership or a mortgage lender and say, believe it or not, they told me to come file bankruptcy and then come back and see them. So bankruptcy is really meant to allow consumers to get a fresh start and to get back into the consumer lending market. Usually 2 or 3 years after a bankruptcy, you can buy a house.
That was going to be my next question, is how long does it take to build it back up?
Usually within the year following the bankruptcy, you'll see your credit improve. Now, a lot of people, when they file bankruptcy, own a home or they own a car that they make payments on, and they don't want to lose that property. And so continuing to pay for it through the bankruptcy and after the bankruptcy is a real good way to rebuild your credit. I usually don't recommend that people go out and get credit cards and do things like that, but you know, kind of testing the waters, getting back into the credit market just for necessary items.
Now, buying a home, you're saying though, after a couple of years, you can probably qualify possibly.
I actually have clients purchase homes while they are in bankruptcy,
Really?
Chapter 13. To qualify for FHA lending, which really gets you the good interest rates and people look for, they usually want to see a couple of years from your bankruptcy discharge. But then you're right back to having a government-backed mortgage loan with a decent interest rate.
When is filing bankruptcy the right thing to do?
When you can't pay your bills. If you have people calling you, if you are behind on payments, if you're stressed out and can't sleep, or it's taking up an inordinate amount of your time during the day worrying about it, chances are you need to talk to an attorney.
I think people just think there's that negative connotation, but what we're hearing today is it's not doomsday. It can be a renewal.
It's not 50 years ago. Our whole economy is based on consumer purchasing, and people don't pay for things with cash anymore. They should, but they don't. And in order to keep our economy going, there has to be borrowing, and when people default because of say a job loss or an illness, there has to be a way for them to get out so that they don't suffer in poverty for the rest of their lives, and so that they can get back into the lending market.
Yeah, and people need to understand, it's not, a lot of times it isn't bad management of money. It can be just terrible life circumstances that happen.
Most of my clients have had something happen to them. Yeah. There are people that go out and run up a bunch of credit card debt and file bankruptcy, and sometimes it works out for them and sometimes it does not. But most of my clients are good, honest, hardworking people that have just had something happen to them.
Doing it for the right reasons. Well, to find out more about your rights when it comes to debt collection and bankruptcy laws, contact Michael J. Rose, PC. He's located at 4101 Perimeter Center Drive. It's Suite 120 right here in Oklahoma City. The phone number's right there, 605-3757. You can also go to MikeRoseLaw.com and on Facebook at Michael J. Rose, PC. Mitch?
So your plant is drooping.